It's not the critic that counts. It's actually you that matters the most to your community and to the people that care about you and what you have to say. This video, we're going to talk about how to step into your genius and your authenticity and really start creating your authority. Let's get right on to the show. Hey there, it's Laurence Tham here from Your Chiro Coach. Today we're going to talk about how to step into your power. The reality is that we are in very, very weird times. When there's so much anger and frustration out in the world at the moment, it is really hard to kind of sit. Where do you sit in this world? Do you stay quiet and not say a thing, or do you start going out there and screaming and raving? And the reality is there's no right answer. I think the question really should be asked to yourself is, what resonates with you? What's aligned with you? And I think it's really important to kind of really pull yourself back and really reflect upon who you are and what do you mean to your community? What do you mean to this world? And what I mean by that is that we can often get confused by a lot of people standing up and sort of saying certain things, and you think there's a part of you that feels like, yes, I believe that, I want to be part of that, but that's not also within my personality to shout or scream or be confrontational. And sometimes sometimes we do need to be confrontational. I'm not suggesting we need to shy away from that. What I'm saying, though, however, is that we also need to resonate and reside and align with who we are fundamentally. And that there's a ton of causes right now that we can be going on about or supporting. But the reality is we can't support them all. We don't all have to agree either. The challenging thing moving forward is I think that we are living in a world where it feels like we actually have to do A or B, or we have to be on the left or the right, or we have to be black or we have to be white. And the reality is that it's not black or white. There's a lot of areas that we don't all have to fundamentally agree upon. But I think it's really what it comes down to, for me anyways, it's about respect. How do we respect each other? How do we respect that people have different opinions? How do we respect that people might have different options or decisions that they have to make for their own, rather than criticizing the other side for what they don't believe in your particular values? At the end of the day, you have your own values and you should follow them and act accordingly, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to follow your values. Now, what I really mean by the whole point of this is to kind of recognize, to pull back a little bit and go, what can we do, right? Because we can really stop ourselves from becoming and saying the things we need to say or want to say because the worry and the fear around critics. Listen, I'm not infallible in this. I'm exposed to critics in terms of people who are criticizing, you should be doing this, you should be doing more, you should be doing less, or whatever it is. The reality is we all face that. We all face that fear. The challenge isn't really to think about is how do you let go of that fear? Well, I don't think you can. I think all of us, to some extent, have those fears. Some people have it more than others. But I think recognizing, number one, is that the reality is that we all have that fear in the first place. And I think that's really important to recognize that every single human being have that fear, whether they admit it or not. The second thing, and then, is that to ask really fundamentally is which critic actually matters to you. There's one of my favorite quotes is a quote by Theodore Roosevelt, which is the man in the arena. And you can look it up. I'm not going to say the whole thing because it's quite long, but the reality is that it's right in the first line. It says that it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man, I guess, and also woman, who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly and who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. So the thing is what that quote really resonates with me is to recognize is that be careful who you're being afraid of. Be careful about the critic itself. The critic is the person usually in the stands. They're not actually in the arena fighting, and you're the one who's actually fighting. The true right credit should go to the person who's in the arena doing the work, and the arena is your arena. Don't get caught up in that, right? Don't lose sight of that your arena is your arena. It doesn't have to be someone else's arena and it's someone else's world. And I think this is where we got caught up, where we feel like we have to fight in other people's arena. We have to fight the fight that everybody else wants to fight, or that other people respect to have to fight. That's not necessarily true. You got to fight in your own arena, whatever arena you feel most comfortable with, or want to make a change in. And the arena typically for most chiropractors, most practitioners, is the arena you want to fight for your community. And how you can fight around this community, especially what's going on right now, is not to, is not necessarily always, you obviously have certain rules and regulations that you have to follow. And, the license on the line, I totally get that. So it's your choice whether you want to fight that or not. But the one thing that's for sure, if you decide to follow the rules and decide to follow, the guidelines and not, not want to skirt around the edges, but then you can do something about that still. You can still fight in the arena by talking about, for example, just shifting your conversations to what you became a chiropractor for. Most of us became chiropractors because we wanted to help people. Then go help them. Talk about things that will help them. How to support their immune system, how to live a healthier life, how to choose differently, how in terms of their life and the choices and the decisions they need to make. That's something you can influence them on, right? That's something you can help them choose and have control on how to eat properly, get them to choose and excite them and influence them to help them start exercising, help them to choose to stop eating junk food, and how to help them breathe and sleep and, decrease their stress and manage their emotions at the moment. All of those things you can actually have total control over. Your job as a chiropractor is not the only thing is, I think people get confused that the job of the chiropractor, the only thing that we do is adjust. I think, to me, I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but I think it's totally BS. We do more than that. We do more than adjusting. The adjusting is something that we are allowed to do, and that's something we do. But you can do so much with your voice. You can do so much with your words. You can do so much with your communication. How you take care of someone, how you able to console someone, how you can able to manage their emotions, how you can put a hand on them while they're going through some tough times, how you make them a phone call, maybe an SMS, or maybe just to connect them when they're having a tough time or when they lost someone or when they're going through something really tough. That is also the effect of a chiropractor. You see, my fundamental belief is that you being a chiropractor is one of the things that you're known for. It's one of the things that you do. It's not the only thing that you do. You're also a human being. And this is where one of the things I always say is that be a human first and be a chiropractor second. The reality is that you have something to say. We all have something to say. And it's what you can do is use the platforms, use videos, use your words if you're a better typer, use short tweets if that's the best thing you can do. Use your TikTok skills, use your Instagram skills, using pictures and be able to influence and create ideas to shift people towards things that you're excited about. And it might be about health. It may be about helping someone get better and healthier. Maybe about to reduce stress. I don't know what that is for you, but all I'm doing is to here in this video, I want to strongly recommend is that you do have a voice. Lean into that voice. And it's your job and responsibility to take that voice and utilize it for good. And it's up to you to take a stand, to really say the things you want to say and lean into it. Your job is to be able to create that power and you have that influence on people. It doesn't have to be the whole entire world, but it might be that world, be the best in the world. That world is your world, whatever that world may be. So I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you to lean into your community, to go and, help your community to live a better life and healthy life, because God forbid, the way we're going to get out of this is to have a healthier population. That's the best that's the best immunity for this, right? And you're going to, and we all know that to be true, but no one's focused on it. So be that leader and focus on that. Focus on having a healthier lifestyle, and not everybody's going to follow you. Be okay with that, and just take on the people who are willing to follow you. All right, go out there and create. Go out there, use your ideas. Go out there and step in to your discomfort to really share your message, because I'm sure there'll be someone willing to listen.